In the bustling world of Asia's entertainment industry, Jerry Yen was already a household name. The Taiwanese actor rose to fame in the early 2000s as Dao Mingxi in Meteor Garden, a role that turned him into a heartthrob across Asia. With his chiseled features, soft-spoken charm, and quiet vulnerability, Jerry was the poster boy for brooding romance. LIYA, meanwhile, came from a very different world. Born in Xinjiang with a strong background in classical dance, she had worked her way up the ladder with fierce determination and grace. By the late 2010s, she was celebrated not only for her beauty, but also for her powerful acting performances in dramas like Beijing Love Story and Ordinary World. They were from different worlds: Jerry, a quiet and private figure from Taiwan, and LIYA, a fiery and passionate actress from mainland China. They had never shared the screen, and yet fate was quietly scripting their story. Their paths finally crossed at a charity gala in Beijing in 2018. He was there as a guest presenter, she, a featured ambassador. It wasn't love at first sight. It was curiosity. LIYA remembered the moment clearly. He was standing near the piano, away from the cameras, sipping something dark. She walked up to him and said, "You're not as tall as I expected." He laughed, and just like that, the ice broke. Their relationship blossomed in secret, a stolen season of whispers and quiet dinners in tucked-away restaurants, long walks along the Liangma River, and weekends spent hiking in Taiwan's Taroko Gorge. Jerry liked her laugh. It was unfiltered and wild. LIYA adored his calm. It was like being with a lighthouse in a storm. But it wasn't all easy. Jerry had always been wary of fame's intrusion into his personal life. He had lost past relationships to the unforgiving lens of tabloids. LIYA, meanwhile, was dealing with her own storm: public scrutiny over her previous marriage to actor-director Chen Xiqing and co-parenting their young son. "Do you ever feel like you're not allowed to be happy?" she asked him one night, lying under the stars on a rooftop in Taipei. "I used to," he replied. "But then I met you." Their relationship became an open secret among friends and colleagues. Some whispered that they were each other's calm in the chaos. Others warned that it wouldn't last. Jerry's privacy and LIYA's outspoken nature were like fire and water. But for nearly 2 years, they made it work. Quietly. Tenderly. By mid-2020, the world changed. The pandemic paused productions, locked cities down, and forced people into introspection. Jerry and LIYA found themselves stuck, sometimes together, sometimes apart. And in that space, their differences began to surface. LIYA missed spontaneity, long road trips, noisy dinners with friends, impulsive late-night walks. Jerry craved predictability, peace, and silence. She wanted to explore the world. He wanted to build a quiet life. One evening, during a heated discussion, she said, "I feel like I'm shrinking to fit into your world." And he replied quietly, "I feel like I'm drowning in yours." There were no dramatic fights, no paparazzi scandals, no loud farewells, just silence, and then a mutual decision to pause. They never officially confirmed their relationship or breakup. But LIYA began posting more solo pictures, often with her son, smiling wide and free. Jerry retreated from public life again, returning only for select projects. Fans speculated, but neither spoke. Years passed. They both continued to shine in their respective careers. LIYA became a symbol of resilience, an actress, mother, and public figure who had risen beyond her past. She spoke often about love in interviews. It's not always forever, but if it made you feel deeply, then it was real. Jerry returned to the screen in a heartfelt drama in 2024, playing a role that seemed too close to reality: a man who once had love in his hands, but let it go. When asked how he prepared for the role, he paused and said, "By remembering." And yet, the whispers never truly died. In a rare moment caught by fans, they were seen in Tokyo in late 2024, smiling, talking, walking side by side like old friends who knew every chapter of each other's books. Were they back together? No one knew. But the picture went viral, titled simply, "Love Doesn't Always Leave." If their love story were a film, it would be less about fireworks and more about warmth. Less about dramatic kisses in the rain, and more about stolen glances, whispered jokes, the comfort of shared silences. Some say they were never meant to last. Others believe they never really ended. Jerry once said in an interview, "Some people come into your life not to stay, but to show you what love could be." TONG LIYA, in her TED-style talk in Beijing, said, "You never truly lose someone who gave you their heart. They live in your laughter, your tears, your silence." And maybe, just maybe, they were each other's forever, even if not side by side. Their story wasn't perfect. It wasn't public. It wasn't conventional. But it was theirs. And in a world hungry for happy endings, perhaps the quiet ones, laced with bittersweet memories and the courage to let go, are the ones that last the longest. The years passed like silent waves, some gentle, some rough, but always moving. By 2025, Jerry Yen had embraced a new rhythm. He'd grown into roles that required depth and gravity, aging rock stars, single fathers, broken men with unfinished love stories. His face matured, etched with lines that whispered of stories untold. His fans noticed something else too. He smiled more, even if his eyes still carried a quiet sadness. TONG LIYA, now a force in both film and philanthropy, was stepping into her prime. She founded a performing arts program for underprivileged children in Xinjiang and took roles that were bolder, more political, more powerful. In interviews, she radiated strength, but also honesty. "I'm still learning to forgive myself," she once said on a talk show, "for things I couldn't hold together, for the people I loved in silence." The mention was subtle, but it stirred speculation again. Netizens dug up old images, photos of Jerry and TONG LIYA from that quiet Tokyo evening. A hand brushing against a coat. A shared umbrella. The way they looked at each other when they thought no one was watching. It wasn't confirmation, but it wasn't denial either. In March 2025, a renowned director was casting for a passion project, a sweeping romance about second chances titled Autumn Knows. The script told the story of two lovers who reunite after a decade of absence, only to find that the pieces of their past still fit perfectly and painfully. The director had one vision, Jerry Yen as the lead. "But who will play the woman?" the producers asked. He smiled. "There's only one I want." When the script landed in TONG LIYA's hands, she read it in one sitting. Page after page felt like déjà vu. She hesitated. She almost said no. Then, late one night, her phone lit up with a message she hadn't seen in years. "Jerry, I don't know if we can pretend to be in love, but I know I never really stopped." Her fingers hovered above the keyboard. She typed, "Maybe we don't need to pretend." Filming began in Prague, far away from the gossip mills of China and Taiwan. The cast was small, the set intimate, and the energy electric. From the very first scene, where their characters locked eyes after 10 years apart, something shifted. The crew felt it. The director didn't call cut right away, letting them hold the silence, eyes locked, hearts exposed. Behind the scenes, the distance between Jerry and LIYA melted slowly. Long walks became shared meals. Shared meals became late-night talks. They didn't talk about the past, not at first. They just were. Until one night, after a shoot by the Vltava River, she turned to him and said, "Do you think we broke up too easily?" He looked at her, soft and serious. "I think we were waiting to grow into the kind of people who wouldn't." By the time Autumn Knows premiered in late 2025, the buzz was uncontrollable. Not just because of the chemistry between the leads or the heartbreakingly real performances, but because of what followed on the red carpet in Shanghai. Jerry, always reserved and formal, stepped aside to let TONG LIYA take the spotlight. She looked radiant in a crimson gown, a single gold bracelet on her wrist, the same one fans remembered from a photo years before. As the cameras flashed, she reached for his hand. He didn't let go. That night, at the press conference, a journalist asked, half joking, "Is this story based on real life?" Jerry leaned into the mic and said, "Parts of it." TONG LIYA added, "The best parts." In a quiet Taipei suburb, neighbors often spot them walking together. No security, no entourage, just two people who had once lost each other and then found their way back. They don't post much. They don't announce anything. But in a rare interview for LIYA, TONG LIYA offered a final reflection. Some love stories take a break. Ours paused, not because we didn't love enough, but because we hadn't loved ourselves enough. When we did, we found our way home. And Jerry, in his quiet way, summed it up. It turns out, some things are worth the wait. Because maybe the best love stories don't end at all. They just continue, between the lines, behind closed doors, beneath starlit skies where two hands once let go, only to find each other again.